Yay! So again, it is time to carry on with our reading of Frostheart by Jamie Littler. This was requested that I do a few extra chapters after I read the first one. So we are currently on chapter 28 of Frostheart. And it's getting quite serious. So enjoy. Chapter 28, Shadows of the Past. The pebble Ash had thrown in frustration flew over the ramparts, tumbling down and clacking off the ancient stone below. Ash lost sight of it, but thought that maybe he heard it skip off the ice far, far below. He was keeping out of the way of the Frostheart crew, especially Captain Nuck, whom Ash could almost hear thinking up a way to teach Luna and him a lesson, and he didn't want to be around when inspiration finally struck. He watched as a caravan of squat mechanical Vulpes sleighs chugged off into the snow sea, black smoke trailing behind them. These were not the elegant, streamlined sleighs typical of the Pathfinders. These were clunking and brutal, pieced together in a patchwork of rusted scrap. Probably off scouting for someone they can actually trade with, someone without a song weaver to dirty the deal. "Why does everyone hate me?" he said aloud, squeezing his eyes tight and grinding his teeth in frustration. "I'd call it jealousy, myself," came a voice, startling Ash. He hadn't seen Shard leaning on the wall nearby, hands resting behind his head. He grinned his wolfish grin as always. "You have the power to overcome the very thing that every other person in this world lives in fear of. They want what you have, but know, deep down, that they will never have it." "Maybe," Ash said, "but I just want to be normal." "Don't ever say that," Shard demanded, springing up off the wall, light as a feather. His furs billowed behind him as he strode forward, giving Ash a hard look. "I have something to show you, Ash. Quickly now, we don't have much time." Compelled, Ash let Shard lead him into the dark heart of the ancient tower. They eventually came to a stop at a huge wall painting that stretched as high and wide as the Frostheart. It was jaw-dropping to look at. "Listen to me, Ash. The Leviathans make the strongholders scattered and weak," Shard said. "But if I've learned anything in all my years of searching, it's that the Leviathans make strong-weavers strong." He gestured at the painting. "In my travels, far to the west, I came across a ruin untouched by Vulpes or human kin. Within its depths I learned of things beyond imagining." The chill in the air seemed to get colder as Ash gazed up at the mural. It looked like a huge village from the world beyond, a village many times the size of the Fyra stronghold. Towering above it was a monstrosity unlike anything Ash had ever seen. It seemed to reach up to the thunderous sky, lightning raining down upon the land. Appendages like tree roots spilled from its mass, piercing through buildings and swatting aside what looked like warriors armed with the ancient, terrible weaponry from the world before, as though they were nothing more than annoying insects. It was the eyes, though. The 6 pitiless eyes Ash had seen so many times before on lurkers and hurtlers that told him this was some kind of Leviathan. He felt his mouth fall open, his skin crawling at the mere idea of such a thing. It must have been an exaggeration. Surely nothing like this could actually exist. Leviathans are the greatest predators this world has ever known. Nothing can match their strength. But who can influence that strength? Who can guide? Who can control such power? "Songweavers," Ash whispered, a chill going down his spine at the thought of weaving with such a monster. Shard smiled. "That's right. The only thing in this world more powerful than the Leviathans are the Songweavers themselves. You have great power within you, Ash, and you should never wish to be any less." Ash's mind was in a whirlwind. What Shard was suggesting, the idea of that kind of power terrified Ash, but it intrigued him too. What if I could control Leviathans? Then I could really help the Frostheart, really prove to them that I'm a valuable member of the crew. But none of this matters," said Ash. "What I did with the hurtlers back at the Fyra, it was a fluke. The lurker that attacked Yalla, I was helpless against it. I don't have a clue what I'm doing. There's no way I'd be able to weave with something like that." Shard nodded, thoughtful. "Perhaps. But maybe you have your friend Tobu to thank for that. His lessons are getting you nowhere fast, in spite of how hard he works you. I've begun to suspect that the Yeti is scuttling your abilities on purpose. He's scared you'll become more powerful than him. Like all the others, he's jealous of your power." Ash stepped away from Shard with indignation. Toby would never do that, he said. Shard gave a small smile. Perhaps not, but the song-weaving technique you use can only soothe the Leviathans, which is all well and good behind the safety of walls, but it won't win us any wars. And this is a war, make no mistake. You need to fight, Ash. There is more than one song-weaving technique. I've heard it told, even seen it with my own eyes. Mighty song-weavers, commanding power beyond any song you have sung, wielding Leviathans like weapons. Shard's eyes gleamed with a sudden fervour. You could be great, Ash, just like your father. My father? Ash asked, confused. Shard looked up at the gigantic mural, his eyes distant, lost in memory, his smile soft for once instead of hungry. The night we first spoke, I mentioned that I once had a friend from the Fira. His name was Furno. Shard chuckled to himself. We were very close. Saved each other's lives a few times, though I don't doubt he saved me more than I saved him. Furno was a proud song-weaver. Ash gasped, but Shard continued. I knew he had a son who lived far up north, though I didn't put two and two together at first. Not until I heard you hum that tune up on the mast while you were training, that lullaby. Your father used to hum the same tune all the ruddy time, humming away to himself. I knew it then, Ash, without a doubt in my mind. Time felt like it was moving in slow motion. The ground disappeared below Ash's feet. It felt like he was flying, high, high above the world. Furno was your father, Ash. That's the end of chapter 28. Hope you enjoyed it. I will see you next time for chapter 29.